Happy Lesbian Visibility Week. Happy Lesbian Visibility Day. From me, I'm Robin. I'm the CEO at Her, and from all of the Her team, to all our lesbians in our thriving community, we see you, we love you. And a big thing we're wanting to talk about this year for Lesbian Visibility Day is the incredible breadth and representation of this lesbian community. There are some, frankly, just like hideous, overbearing, aggressive, offensive voices right now on the internet, the TERFs, and we're them. We are here to make it clear that lesbians exist of all different kinds and types. There is no one way to be a lesbian. And so anyone who is trying to suggest or other you in your lesbian identity can get the out, especially if it's on Her. We are a platform for all lesbians, trans lesbian, non-binary lesbians. You are all part of our lesbian community. And there's no space for TERFs on Her. So with that, happy Lesbian Visibility Day.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. On this edition of Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff World, guys, I am really scratching my head on this one. Sometimes there's stories that I run across where I just cannot believe it, right? I just can't wrap my mind around the logic here. And this story right here is one of those stories where I just think about it and I'm just like, I cannot believe that we're actually living in a world like this, right? This is how far into Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world we've gotten, right? This is how insane we've gotten as a society, guys, where up is down, down is up, right is left, and left is right. There is no rhyme or reason to anything anymore, okay? In the name of diversity and inclusion, all logic, right? All things that are connected to reality go out the window. And I mean, it's getting to the point where it's just unbelievable, right? And this story right here, I need some help, okay? I know I have some wokes, right? Some woke revolutionaries that watch my videos, okay? I know you do, okay? I need some help. Somebody try to help me make sense of this story right here, okay? As we got to talk about a lesbian dating app that is removing women from the app. They're kicking off women from the app because they refuse to date biological men, okay, aka trans women who identify as lesbians. This is a topic that I've talked about maybe a couple times on my channel before because this is actually a thing, right? It is a thing now where you have biological men who say that they're women and they say, hey, I'm a lesbian because I'm a woman. Therefore, I, date women, right? I'm attracted to women. And they're upset when women who, identify as lesbian, biological women that identify as lesbian say, hey, I don't want to date trans women because trans women are actually biological men, right? Like that's a whole thing. And these lesbians are called TERFs, right? They're deemed to be TERFs because they don't want to date trans women, aka biological men. And you have this app that was built for the purpose of lesbians, right? Who are, by definition, biological women that like other biological women. You have this app saying, no, we're going to kick you off if you refuse to date biological men. Wait, again, we're really deep into we're deep into Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world, man. And I want to talk about this story. I have to talk about this story because it really blows my mind. There's no logic here, okay? And what makes it even worse, again, is that this company is openly embracing this, right? The CEO, like you saw at the beginning of this video, has come out and basically said, yeah, we're kicking off transphobes, right? We're kicking off transphobes and TERFs that don't want to date biological men, even though they originally came to the app because the value proposition of the app was that, hey, this is for biological women who want to date biological women. Amazing stuff. So let's read about this because this is insane, right? It really is. It's pure comedy. Boasting 1.5 million users in 55 countries, Her is an undeniably the largest and most recognizable lesbian dating app on the market. While debatable now, it appears to have been created with the best of intentions. The app's founder, Robin Exton, said she first set out to design an app that wasn't just a female version of Grindr. Now, I think that Grindr is an app for gay men, okay? For men, who want to date other men, okay? Now, I wonder if Grindr allows biological women who identify as men who say that they're gay and they only want to date men. I wonder, do they allow that? Like, how does that work? Again, I'm not sure here. I'm not sure. There's a whole lot of confusion, but let's try to make some sense out of a lot of nonsense here. However, over the last few years, Her has become less of a platform for lesbians to mingle and more of a case study in the contagion of gender identity ideology and how it uniquely harms the lesbian community. Launched in 2015 under the premise of being a female-run lesbian space, Her went through a subtle rebrand in 2018 in an effort to profit from the burgeoning trends of queerness and inclusivity, terms which have gained popularity from the social justice bloggers of Tumblr and into mainstream discourse. Her, which had ostensibly been designed exclusively for female users, began to add more categories and identities so it could attract a base that included trans-identified individuals, particularly men. In their promotional materials, Her even began using the term womex to be more inclusive to those who felt woman was an offensive term. God. Wow, you can't make this up, bro. Womex, right? Womex. We're really getting deep in the Cocoa Puff world here, right? On Ethan's app, there was a ton of men who identify as lesbian who felt welcome to use Her as their new mating grounds. All the while, lesbians and bisexual women who were only interested in dating females were not provided any options to filter out these men from their searches. Over the short few years following, Her began mutating into an identity that was openly hostile to its lesbian users in an effort to signal its dedication to inclusivity. Without the ability to filter out men who could pick any identity they liked on the app, some female users took it upon themselves to signify that they were only interested in other women by adding it to their bio or including a photo with logos that signify exclusive same-sex attraction. Again, which would make sense, right? You got on the app to date people of the same sex, okay? That would make sense, right? And when you see that the app clearly is flawed and they're not living up to that, you gotta kind of, signal to people that, hey, this is what I'm interested in dating, and that's it, right? But again, apparently having dating preferences is bigotry, right? It's just funny how that works. Again, they do the same thing with race as well too, okay? If you say that you don't want to date black folks, right, or so-called people of color or whoever, apparently that's a form of bigotry, except if you say you don't want to date whites. If you say, hey, I don't date whites, that's totally acceptable, totally fine. Again, amazing how that works. So basically, make a long story short here, we have lesbian users, right? For example, this Twitter user right here. She was suspended, okay, after adding no trans women to her bio because she's exclusively attracted to the same sex, which, again, would make sense, right? So she wrote this in her bio, okay, and that she also was not interested in dating women who are not proud to be women, okay? She said, look, I'm not going to be compatible with basically, anybody that's not a woman, right? Or proud to be a woman, which apparently saying that you're proud to be a woman is a form of transphobia as well, too. Okay. Again, according to some of the woke revolutionaries. So she was suspended. Okay. And this is what the customer service at Her wrote. Okay. This is what the customer service wrote to Jen when she reached out about this. This person, Devin, said, "Hi, Jen. Thanks for reaching out to us. Your account is suspended for phobic/disrespectful speech. In the bio of your profile, specifically, quote, please only contact if you're born female and proud to be a woman. Absolutely no trans women or non-binary people, please. Her is a welcome place for queer people, including non-binary and trans folks. Trans women are women. Regards, Devin." Yeah. So, she was suspended, right, for getting on the app to date other biological women, which is the marketing of the app. That's how the app marketed itself. Okay, again, it's insane. Well, hey, I guess you got to get an app credit. Most of these apps won't actually tell you why you get suspended, why you get punished. At least they actually said why. Let's read a little bit more here. Jen was incredulous. Her banned me, a lesbian, for being a lesbian and not wanting sexual and romantic relationships with the opposite sex, she told Redux. But Jen's experience is far from isolated. Another woman, a vocal women's rights advocate known by her moniker GJ Lippy, told Redux that she had been suspended from using her after she uploaded a photograph to her profile featuring a sign that displayed the definition of a woman as, quote, an adult human female. Many trans-identified males reject the definition of woman as it excludes them as they are not female. Yeah, so basically there's a bunch of lesbians on the app that are getting kicked off, okay, because they basically don't want to date men, okay? And the app founder, the app customer service, they're coming out here and openly berating these women, calling them transphobes and TERFs for saying that, hey, we don't want to date, non-biological women, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, this is what's happening. And again, to me, it blows my mind because let's take a step back from all the LGBTQ stuff, okay? Let's forget about that for now, okay? I want to talk about my own personal experience. I've done stories like this before. I don't understand people who want to cry hate and bigotry because people have dating preferences, okay? Me personally, right? If I get on a dating app, I'm using all the filters that I can, okay? I'm filtering out based off location. I'm filtering based off race. I'm filtering based off body type. I'm filtering based off all that stuff, okay? Because at the end of the day, you have a right as a person to express who you're interested in and who you're not interested in. And that's not a form of hate and bigotry because you don't want to sleep with people that you're not attracted to. Again, it blows my mind how, as a society, we've gotten to a point now where we're telling people that they're hateful and they're bigots because they have dating preferences. Because they say, hey, I don't want to date people of the same biological sex, right? Or, I want to date people of the same biological sex. Sex is a fact of reality, and it doesn't matter what you identify as. Your sex is your sex. What you was born with, what you was born with, okay? And it really blows my mind that you have people out there that get offended because you have people that don't want to date them, okay? There are plenty of people out there, women, men, whoever, that don't want to date black men. And I don't get upset about it. I don't get hurt about it. I don't see it as a form of hate and bigotry. I just see it as, okay, well, you don't want to date black men. There are plenty of people who do, right? And I'm going to be concerned about those people, right, that are interested. I'm not going to be concerned about people who are not interested. But we've entered Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world. You know that we've jumped off the cliff of logic, right? When you're basically trying to force lesbians to date biological men who identify as women, who say that they're lesbian because they're women. Therefore, because the definition of lesbian is, women who want to date women. Therefore, they're forced to do it. And if they don't date these men, biological men, then, they're bigots. Like, the definition of words matter, right? The definitions of terms and phrases matter. Okay, we just can't make every term and phrase inclusive of everybody. The whole point of having, words like, for example, gay or lesbian, those type of labels, the whole point of having those labels is because they have a meaning. They tell people things. In this specific case, it tells people about, hey, this is what my sexual preference is. This is who I want to date. This is who I like to date. And those words have meaning for a reason. And you just can't say, well, the definition of the word should be inclusive to everybody. If it's inclusive to everybody, then it means nothing, right? It means absolutely nothing if it's inclusive to everybody. But again, this is where we're at in society, where everything has to be inclusive, even if it makes no sense whatsoever. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely insane, right? We've come full circle in this world of insanity. And it just blows my mind. At this point, all I can do is laugh. All I can do is laugh and say, hey, you know, if the world is going to go in this direction, I might as well laugh, right? I might as well get some comedy out of it, because that's what a lot of this stuff is at this point. It's pure comedy, man. It really is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.